Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the 1.5 White Guys podcast, or more unsolicited white guy opinions on movies for long. I'm Nathan, your half white guy.
I'm Nick, your one white guy.
I'm the Latino one, so I'm the werewolf, and you're what?
One of those whiteys.
The vampires.
I'm one of those fangers.
Filthy fangers, as we talked about. Welcome back, audience. Welcome back to the review portion of New Moon, Twilight New Moon, our annual November Twilight review. If you got to see us a little bit earlier, we did the watch through. We'll throw in a link right here if you haven't had a chance to watch that. We watched it together. My first time ever watching New Moon. Nick's second time watching New Moon. We even made what do we got? We got Muscles, we got a Heartbreak, and we got a Birthday.
It's her birthday. She gets her heart broken and then meets another hunk.
And that's the movie.
I mean this in the most respectful way. I want to get this over with.
Yes. Okay. Let's get straight into it. We are doing the Twilight Saga, New Moon, which was the first one they ever did name the Twilight Saga instead of just having it be New Moon.
Oh, they knew exactly what they had.
Oh God.
When the first one did so well.
And they were like, oh man, we're going to make it 4. So this is, all right.
We're going to make it 5.
Yeah. All right. Twilight Saga New Moon, directed by Chris Weitz, who also wrote Rogue One and directed The Golden Compass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Starring Kristen Stewart as Bella Swan, Mickey 17 as Edward. I do want to see that one. Have
It's
you seen
not
that
even
trailer?
out yet.
Yeah, I know. I want to see Mickey 17. That's Robert Pattinson as Edward. A not native actor as a Native American.
Whoever could you mean?
Who... Taylor Lautner is not Native American. He is, in fact, I think we said like Hungarian Italian or something like that.
He's white.
He's white. He's white as shit. And finally, that DILF Billy Burke as Charlie Swan, who arguably is everyone's favorite character through the entire series. Charlie Swan.
DILF stash.
Who literally just is trying to do his best to help his daughter and
act in this movie.
And it can't catch a break because she keeps screaming in the middle of the night.
She's a fucking drama queen in this.
She really is.
I can't
this movie,
deal with her in this movie.
This is I gotta be honest, this is worse. This is worse than the original Twilight. This Twilight at least is moving quickly and getting through it, and like things are happening.
We're just going into it now.
Yeah.
Like you want to say Twilight?
Hang on, you got to do the IMDb summary. We have procedures in place. Nick, would you grace us with the IMDb summary for Twilight 2, which I'm just gonna call Twilight 2 from now on. By the way,
just call it New Moon.
It's just Twilight 2 or New Moon, whatever. I don't give a fuck. Go ahead.
He
found a new way to moon her. New Moon.
After Edward leaves because of an incident involving Bella, Jacob Black becomes her best friend. But what Bella doesn't realize is that Jacob also has a secret that will change their lives suddenly.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't change.
This
all
is
that
a filler
much.
episode.
This is
a filler.
This is a 30-minute anime filler.
This is a 30-minute filler episode stretched to 2.5 hours. This whole movie is the same conversations over and over again. The same people feeling these mostly toxic feelings again and again and again. And no one really even doing anything about it.
Yeah.
I've never seen a movie go nowhere for so long.
They really don't do anything. It's always the same conversation of, I care about Edward, but he's gone. I miss him. Jacob, I really like hanging out with you, but also I'm hurt. I don't want to date you because Edward hurt me. He's not.
You're a filthy good boy.
Because you're a filthy good boy, and I'm
after some of that fang,
and I'm the fang, and I'm a fanger girl. God, dude, yeah, this movie doesn't do anything or go anywhere for a while. At points, I was just wondering, I was like, where's all of our funny dialogue from the first movie? Where's my monkey man?
Because
where's my spider monkey?
Well, because here's what we said about the first one in comparison to this. As weird as the first one is, which has a weird energy to it. It at least has energy to it.
Yeah,
that movie moved at like you said, a better pace, even though it was too long. Still,
yes.
This one is just.
This is talking.
You should have clocked in at like 90 minutes at most with this.
Yeah,
this is way too long. Because whole scenes will just go on forever, and you'll just kind of snap out of it and go, "What? They're still here?
They're
like
still there,
talking to each other." Really?
Should we try to do the pod? You want to do the podcast like
We're
this?
really brooding right now.
You're gonna be like, I don't know if I should bang the dog or
the bat
or the corpse. Who should I bang? Should it be? And then like that's all she's doing. And then meanwhile, her dad's like, "What is wrong with you,
This poor dad. Oh man,
dude?"
I don't even know where to begin with this. Like my first time watching this.
Go ahead.
Was
First experiences
in 2020. Me and my friend, we binge watched them at their place, like all of them. This is my first time watching all of them. I felt the same way.
This is right before COVID, I'm guessing.
This is during COVID.
Oh, you were breaking the quarantine
Anyway,
to watch Twilight.
We were all really bored. Okay, so we decided to make ourselves more bored. I said the same thing about the first one. I was like, I found it oddly charming. It's not a good movie, but it's not anything horrible. It's just kind of cute. It's just kind of weirdly cute.
Yeah.
And then I remember watching this one and thinking, I don't remember anything. Watching this again, I didn't remember anything except the end, when he's like flying around the room in the
Vatican.
You know, the red robes and just like everything else I just completely forgot about. That's how unmemorable this movie
I need
is.
to know if they shot that on location.
It's hard to even really, sorry to interrupt, but it's kind of hard to even really begin where the plot is, because it's like this movie doesn't really have one. It's 20 minutes worth of story just stretched out inhumanly long to 2 hours and like 10 minutes. It's again, like you said, it's just the same conversations again and again.
What are the conversations usually? Describe what are the conversations?
Jacob, should we, shouldn't we? You know what? Just two things, actually. I miss Edward. That's all it fucking is. There's a lot of Jacob in this. He's just like, if you were missing him from the first movie, he's in this quite a bit.
Yeah, they really put Taylor Lautner to work in this one.
Kind of goes through his own little emotional story. He just wolfs out eventually. I don't know. He gets inducted into this cult of werewolves, and they make him cut his hair. Thank God, and get a tattoo. Oh no! Now he's really gone. Now he's really gone off the deep end, hasn't he, parents?
Oh my God!
Is this really the man you want your daughter to be dating?
Yeah,
he got a tattoo underage, and I can't really. That's it. That's it. He's part of this wolf pack now. He can transform into a giant wolf that's as big as an SUV. Those are the werewolves in this, I guess. They're not even werewolves. They can just transform at any time.
So I'm looking at facts about this. Did you know that each member of that wolf pack had to have papers proving their native descent?
Except for Taylor Lautner.
One of them is Lakota Sioux. The other one is Cree Métis, is Purepecha, Tarasco, Hopi, and another was Cree. But the only one that's not native is the only one that matters.
Is Taylor
Lautner, who's not native.
Oh my God, he's did you ever see Abduction?
I don't think so.
That came out in 2011. They were trying to push him a little bit more.
Okay.
And it's just this really bad action movie where he's like, I'm the son of a spy and I have to go on the run with Lily Collins and shit. And there's just like a lot of really good actors in it that are just kind of there.
Shit.
To collect a paycheck.
God.
Do you know who made that?
Who?
John Singleton.
Are you serious?
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
That's terrible. It's so bad. I saw that shit in theaters. Abduction.
Oh God. So let's see. Should we just get into some basic plot stuff here?
If we can remember.
Okay. So Edward doesn't want to be there anymore because
Jasper freaked out at the party. She cut herself.
Well, because Kristen Stewart turned 18 and he was like, "Oh, too old for me." Okay, and I do want to say this. This is fucked up to say, but I do want to say this. They make a lot of like jokes about people being overage, underage, and everything in this. There's a lot of like implications.
Were those
to
jokes,
age.
or were those just they were
it's
just
really
having these cringe conversations?
It's really
about
weird. And he's like, "Oh, I'm actually Edward. You're older than me. You're actually 108." He's like, "No, I'm 18. Or no, I'm 17. You're 18." It's like, "You're older." And I go, "God, this is not right.
You're wrong, by the way.
I don't like this. This feels very uncomfortable."
Terrible.
Yeah, even when she hangs out with Jacob, like that's all they're talking about for at least a few minutes is, "I'm older than you. I'm the bad influence. I'm older."
What is it? What is your thing with age?
At one
point,
he's like, "What's your thing with age?" And I go, "This is the only honest question I would ask her. What is your thing with age? Why do you keep bringing it up?" Oh God. Apparently, there was a rumor that Jacob wouldn't. There's a rumor that Taylor Lautner would not reprise his role, and fans were very upset. They were like, "No, he's got to come back. We need to see him shirtless."
Who would they have gotten?
I don't know. But then finally, there was like
a real
time
native actor.
somebody that's actually native. But then finally, they confirmed it, and tons of 14-year-old girls said yes. So Edward's out. He doesn't want to be near Bella anymore because they had a birthday.
They threw a birthday party for Bella, and Bella conveniently cuts
herself on wrap. If you've cut yourself on wrapping paper, let us know. I've never done it.
But Jackson Rathbone, who's Jasper, he's like, he freaks out because I guess he's still learning how to control his urge to drink blood, drink human blood.
Apparently during the filming,
he just bum rushes her, dude.
Apparently during the filming, Jackson Rathbone got so into character that both Peter Facinelli, and
Carlisle,
and Kellen Lutz had to hold him back during one of the takes. Elizabeth Reeser, which I'm assuming is Alice, right?
No, Alice is Ashley Green.
Okay, so
Elizabeth Reeser, I think, is the blonde.
Yep.
Can't remember.
Apparently, she got thrown to the ground.
Oh my God!
He was so into character. I'm gonna fuck her. I'm gonna beat up Kristen Stewart. I'm gonna kill Kristen Stewart.
Kill Kristen Stewart.
Well, so like, but
Kristen Stewart's just like, oh my god.
Oh my god! But it's funny to save her from.
No, just in general, he's I don't know. He overreacts like crazy.
Yeah,
because
he's a drop of blood. This is a single drop of blood that happens.
But then he makes it worse because in order to protect her from Jasper, he fucking like just shoves her, and she goes flying in the air into the back wall.
He throws her. He might as well just thrown her through a fucking window because she just cuts her arm open and she's just bleeding.
Yeah, he made it worse.
Yeah.
No, he flips out. He overreacts and he goes, "I'm afraid of me." I don't even know why, actually. Is it because he knows like she'll grow old or something? Is that why?
Well, she also has that fear of growing old without him because she's old.
Because she's human.
Because she's human and she's like, "Oh, I'm getting old." So like everything's about age again. And so he's like, "Yeah, you're unsafe to be here." We do want to say we missed about half the dialogue in this because they talk so fucking low.
Talk like this. He leaves. He just breaks up with her. He fucks off.
He leaves because of Deus Ex Machina. That's why.
Well, the whole family leaves Forks.
Yeah,
and she does nothing but mope about it.
Yeah, the whole family takes off. They don't take her with them, and he apparently go down and celebrate Carnival in Brazil.
Yeah, he's in Rio.
They go hang out in Brazil, and she gets so distraught. She sits in a wicker chair for months on end as the camera pans. There's this shot where the camera just pans around her,
I told you to keep watching that shot.
Oh my God, bro.
And
she sits there for like months and she doesn't move. And at this point, like if I was her dad, I'd be like, "Yo, she's in a lot of fucking pain. Like, what am I going to do?" Like, I understand heartbreaks are bad. Kids having heartbreaks is bad. You've never experienced anything like it. Sad, cry, everything like that. But she like doesn't even move.
That's a level of absurdity. Was it that serious back then for any of us?
I mean, I'm sure it feels like that when it happens
for months on end.
I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it can feel like that. But yeah, she sits there through October, November.
Okay, maybe I'm willing to forgive it if it's like she's a teenager.
Comes out in December.
But then she starts getting a little toxic. And
Well, is this after she starts having night terrors or whatever, just screaming
that's like
herself?
during. That's like
she starts
during her
screaming herself
mopiness.
awake in the middle of the night too.
And her poor dad, every time, he's just like, oh my God, what is it now?
And then he makes the only logical decision that he can and says, you either got to live with your mother or you got to go to some kind of institution. I can't handle your emotions. I'm
going to put you in a 5150 hole.
You're about to go to a home.
If you fucking wake up like that again.
Don't scream. Cause he's like, I can't get drunk and fall asleep on the couch anymore when my daughter is screaming in the upstairs room. And what is he? So she decides she wants to go out with some friends. So she hits up Anna Kendrick and is like, let's go see a horror movie because, then my dad will think there's proof of life or something.
Okay. Go to a horror movie, ends up getting on the back of some schlub's motorcycle.
But not before Edward appears to her as a Force ghost.
That was the funniest part of the movie every time. It's just I don't know, somehow she can see him. Like, I don't know if it's hallucinations or if he's really just like to her or something, because he's wearing the same
astral projecting into her mind,
just wearing the same clothes he was when he just up and fucked off.
Yeah.
Which also after that, she went and got herself lost in the woods anyway. That was hilarious.
So she decides to get cheap thrills by riding on some guy that.
Oh yeah, here we are.
Yeah. So this guy was one of the guys in the originals movie, if you remember that. Was like,
he, or was she just remembering like, he'll come for me if I put myself in danger? So she does that for the entire rest of the movie.
Yeah, she gets on the back of his motorcycle, is like, drive me around, and she's like, 18 and in high school, and the guy's probably like, I don't know, 37, 40.
Guy looked old.
Anna Kendrick apparently just waits there for her even though she
leaves Anna Kendrick just to wait for her.
This is really where Kristen Stewart starts becoming a real fucking bitch in this movie. She's just annoying, and
she's just a problem.
She's like a teenage. She's just like an annoying teenager, which is really the problem. She's just really selfish about the whole thing. Does she get the motorcycles because she wants to do cheap thrills that will scare Edward into showing up?
I think so. Yeah.
Or that she wants to hang out and kind of get to know Jacob.
No, her intention was to fix up the motorcycles, get cheap thrills out of riding them. Oh, doing it with Jacob is bringing me closer to him. I might be having feelings for him.
But to be perfectly honest, too, like she knows, and I gotta be.
That's like a good hour and a half.
I'm not gonna be. I'm gonna be kind of honest here. I think she knows how Jacob feels about her, and she uses him. I'm fucking serious.
I hear you.
I do think she's like, oh, well, he'll just do it if I just bring him some bikes and say, oh yeah, I'll hang out with you. She doesn't help him at all, by the way. She
just sits there.
She rolls one fucking wheel while he repairs both of these motorcycles. These fucking dirt bikes, and they get close. But I feel like she's like, oh yeah, if I just like, he's a mechanic. He made the truck in the first movie. He did all this shit. He fixed this shit up. He'll do it. He'll do it because I ask him to. It feels very manipulative. It feels very manipulative. It feels very manipulative.
But it's also manipulative to try to get Edward to come back by putting herself in danger.
I'm gonna Evel Knievel. She goes, I just saw Ghost Rider.
She at one point gets on a motorcycle of herself and like just eats shit off of it.
Yeah, so they fix up the bikes, they get closer, and then he rides the bike. She rides the bike without a helmet, and is like, Edward's like, don't do this. Motorcycles are dangerous. You don't have a helmet. She rides this without the helmet and just fucking crashes into a rock, which actually was like on the side of the road. I was like, how'd you hit that?
She fell off the bike into the side of the road and then just went headfirst into the rock.
Smashes her head into the rock.
Bella, are you okay, Loca?
Are you okay, Loca?
Because this was so awkward, like the one friend who wants to ask her out.
Mm-hmm.
So she just invites Jacob to come to this movie date.
Yeah, she decides to hang out with her friends. And I think this is the last time we see any of them again.
Thankfully.
Yeah, the Anna Kendrick, Susie Crabgrass friend group.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The one guy has enough courage to be like, I'm going to ask Bella out. I'm going to ask her out. Unfortunately, he's just like a normal white dude with no mystical beast powers, so he has no chance. None. None in this group. But she was like, oh yeah, let's go. Let's bring some friends. And then I guess all of them get sick except Jacob. And Jacob, this one guy, and Bella go hang out in a movie and watch an action movie where There's a lot of blood.
And white dude just, I guess he can't stand the sight of blood, so he goes and throws up in the bathroom.
And Taylor Lautner still has his, mullet on at this point. He says I was reading.
Terrible. It looks terrible.
He said he hated the fucking wig.
Well, I would too.
The wig, dude. And to be honest, he's like, this sucks. And I go, I don't blame him.
Does suck. It looked really bad on him. But finally, he just, I don't know, he kind of snaps at the dude at one point.
Because I guess he's like, in heat. He said he's in heat. His like body temperature's rising. He goes, you're my fucking problem. Because the guy gets sick because he can't stand the sight of blood. And he's like, yeah, I'm just going to go home. Like, I don't feel so good. And the guy's like, then Taylor Lautner's like,
maybe you should go to a hospital. Because I'm going to put you in one.
Put you in one. And I go, what is this? Professional wrestling? You're getting put in a hospital. Anyway, so this is just like this like melodramatic. Like exactly, that's something you would hear at WWE. Like melodramatic,
tell me,
melodramatic, over the top dialogue, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna keep to myself now." And so now Bella is without Edward or Jacob.
Oh my god, I can't believe both the guys I've been hanging out with just abandoned,
flaked on me. And this is this is her kryptonite. She cannot this is like Bella is at her wit's end here. Like this is like
she cannot stand being like rejected.
This is like the most life questioning she's ever done in the series so far is like when she's like, why the fuck are they not into me? And I got it, like I said, kind of during the talk, right? During the watch through, this is like, there's tons of movies about generic white guys with no actually special shit going on, somehow being super pick me. This is like the white girl version of it. She has no personality. She's annoying. And she just kind of is like a normal white girl. And this is like a normal white girl fantasy that like all of these things, like she is somehow desirable by all of these things.
Yeah, what is so special about this girl?
There's nothing special about this girl. And I don't want to be an asshole, but I'm going to be. There's nothing special. And I'll be honest, she has gotten worse morality-wise from the first movie. She was annoying in the first movie. This is just straight up insufferable in this movie.
She's pretty... there's barely a scene in this movie without her. We have to put up with her the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like her, just this mopey fucking main character of just like, I'm going to overreact if something doesn't go my way.
No.
In mentally, like she really is just this toxic person. I mean, it's toxic of Edward to be the way he is, obviously. Yeah. Even Jacob gets a little fucking like,
no, Jacob's toxic. Jacob's weirdly possessive.
Well, so is Edward.
Yeah, that's true.
And she's just getting off on it. She's like, oh my God, these guys are like fighting over me.
And for the second movie in a row, Bella Swan teaches impressionable young kids watching this series what not to do. But unfortunately,
what not to do in a love triangle.
They're not, unfortunately, their brains aren't developed enough to be able to be like, these are toxic behaviors. I'm sure a lot of people learned some toxic behaviors from this and made mistakes. And I mean, did they learn them or was it always there and that just helped galvanize it? Who knows?
No.
Oh, God.
Remember, ladies, it is okay to lead them both on. Get those free drinks, girl.
Jesus Christ.
No, this is a horror. I don't know why these movies were on that list that we went over. It's just like these movies just are not good movies to watch if your kids want to like develop something, you know?
No. Or also just Halloween. Fuck that.
Halloween aside, it's like these aren't family movies because this is like the total wrong way to go about like exploring feelings and and trying relationships, you know? This isn't how things should be.
Everyone talks in this movie, but they don't actually communicate. Does that make sense? They're talking to each other, but everything's so fucking cryptic and everything's leading someone on and everything's like 95% of everyone's problems can be solved with like proper communication.
No, that's not in this.
I think 95% of the problems in this area could be solved if she just leaves. Leave. Leave. Like, honestly, like nothing happens. No, but there's not some rogue vampire coming back to try to kill you.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah, because, we'll just skip ahead to this. Turns out Jacob has turned himself into a wolf or has joined the wolf corps or whatever like
the wolf corps?
Wolf corps. Wolf corps of shirtless boys. There's two vampires that come back. I forget the first one's with the dreads name. He was in the first one, remember? He was like, oh, by the way, this vampire I roll with is going to come hang out and try to kill Bella. And he also has a friend, Victoria, that they're bonded together. And then Edward killed him at the end of the movie. You remember that? Well, he shows up and he's like, I'm going to try to kill you for Victoria. And that's when Edward astral projects back in. And it's like, lie to him.
So do the Cullens come around here often? Edward, lie.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, they're here all the time.
I've been fucking dying. That had to have been intentional.
And then he's like, oh, by the way, Victoria's still after you. And
she's just there at one point, just running around, being chased by the werewolves.
Victoria from the first movie, the redheaded
wants to
one,
kill Bella.
is trying to kill Bella, but she keeps getting driven off by the werewolves. Apparently, they chased her to the Canadian border. She keeps coming back. In order to get Edward to show back up, Bella jumps off a cliff into the water.
I'm looking for that high, basically. Maybe to get Edward to notice and come save me, but also it's just how I can feel anything anymore. And I'm like, that's not healthy.
This isn't good. She gets rescued.
She's extremely self-destructive.
She gets smacked. First of all, she gets smacked into the cliff and hits her head because she sees Victoria in the water swimming towards her.
That's actually kind of a creepy
shot.
shot.
Trying to kill her like the shark from Jaws. And then Jacob pulls her out. Alice shows back up and is like, I saw you jump into the water. You're alive. And I guess
when she's around Jacob, then like her future can't be seen.
Yeah, she can't see through the furry boys or whatever she calls them like that. She can't see through these. She can't. Alice can't these shedders, these filthy good boys. Apparently, Alice can't see her future.
So Alice shows up and because she thinks Bella's dead. And she's like, oh my God, Bella, you're actually alive. I think Edward thinks you're dead.
And then he calls the house just to make sure. And fucking Jacob is like, her father's planning a funeral right now.
Well, because Graham Greene just up and dies.
Yeah, he just dies because of a heart attack.
Because brought on by Victoria, I guess. And so that's all he says. He's like, he's not here right now. He's arranging a funeral.
And then Alice is like, Edward's going to kill himself.
I just realized. Because Alice can see the future.
Yeah.
That's her power.
And we forgot to say, there's this like council of vampires that are like led by, his name?
Not Udo Kier from Blade.
Not Udo Kier
Michael
from Blade.
Sheen.
Michael Sheen. And apparently Michael Sheen, when he got cast in this role, he like went home and he's like, I just got cast in Twilight. And then he asked his daughter, do you know what Twilight is? It's apparently that. And she's like, yeah, I love it. And apparently he's like, okay, you need to tell me because I don't know how to be this character. And so she like explained it all to him. And then he was like, okay, I'm just going to be this guy.
He's trying in this.
He's trying.
Yeah, he does.
So there's this council of vampires that's like, oh, the biggest thing is we need to protect the fact that vampires exist from the humans, and since
whatever vampire exposes themselves to humans or like gives away that there's vampires in the world, we take them out.
Yep. And apparently they're not happy that Edward did that with Bella, but they're fine because he has some mind reading abilities. Like, we're not going to kill you. So he's going to go ahead and reveal himself to the humans by
he's going to force their hand,
taking off his shirt and sparkling in the sun
in front of all of these people in robes.
Yeah, in Italy, by the way. He's in Italy. So
Alice gets Bella to Italy like fast, bro.
Well, I assume they drove there.
Well, no, they took Virgin Airlines.
They took the Virgin Atlantic flight. We saw the plane fly. Don't you remember? It's the town of Volterra in Italy. Apparently, it's very similar to the town that was described in Stephanie Meyer's novel, which I think honestly looks like the town of Corleone. from The Godfather. It does look like it.
Bring me Vito Andolini.
He steps out. He gets kind of sparkly, and then she like covers him and is like, "You idiot! I'm alive." And he goes, Robert Pattinson plays this like he is like punch drunk.
Oh yeah, he looks so confused.
He looks so confused the entire time. Like, does he know where he is? What happens? Not Udo Kier, fucking Michael Sheen. You got me fucking saying it now.
You're not even a pure blood.
Michael Sheen is like, oh,
well, you got it.
These vampires, go, yeah. You know, you can't be doing this shit, you know. And he's like, oh, Bella, you're able to resist
any vampire power.
She can't have her mind read, and she can't
feel pain.
She can't have the pain used by Dakota Fanning's curses or whatever it is. He's like, yeah, you're too dangerous. So we got to kill either Edward or Bella. And then Edward gets his ass beat.
Because he stands up for her. He's like, no, don't kill my girlfriend. And yeah, way to embarrass yourself, bro.
Yeah,
he really gets thrown around a lot.
He gets his ass beat, and then he's like, no, kill me instead. And then Alice is like, don't worry.
Wait, I have a problem. I have a solution to this problem.
We just make
She's
Bella
eventually
a vampire.
going to be a vampire. I swear I've seen it. Here, read my future thoughts or whatever. And then they just let them go.
Anyway, here's your return flight tickets back to Forks, Washington from Rome,
but not after
or Italy.
Yeah, but not not before they walk past a group of tourists being led to their deaths. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah,
because one of the vampires is like, "Ooh, save some for me." All right, folks, just come this way, right into this room.
Screaming,
you just hear all the screams of like it's like the alien from Nope just sucked all those people up, and like you can just hear all them screaming and whatnot
off screen too, which is really funny.
I'm just picturing. I'm like, what did they lead them into a room that had no floor, so everyone just fell? Like, ah!
Apparently, I was looking. So apparently, the vampire's eye color is represented by what they eat. So the Cullens are all brown because they eat animal blood.
Yeah,
and
I thought you knew this. I knew this.
I did not know this.
Everybody's eyes are red because they kill humans.
They drink human blood. See, Nick really knows his Twilight, everyone. Nick is a huge Twilight fan. Look at this shirt. He's a huge Twilight fan. So I'm glad we're doing this for his favorite movie.
My buddy Blake got me this shirt after he heard our review of the first one.
Which is up. Nick isn't as fucking annihilated in this one as he is the last one.
Oh, no, I'm chilling in this one. I'm wasted in the review for the first movie.
Nick didn't make it through the first one.
I did.
Well, we had to take it.
Not the first time.
We had to take a 2-hour, 3-hour break in between.
Did you get drunk too?
I was fucked up, but yeah, I wasn't like.
You didn't get as bad as
I
me.
wasn't shit faced. You were shit faced. That was bad. Now we were supposed to wrap at like 5? We wrapped at like 10:30 p.m.
Sorry,
that was so ridiculous.
And then I got COVID.
Cut to some audio of Nick not feeling well right now.
I hope at one point in the middle of this episode you have a please stand by thing, and it'll just have a caption saying like Nick was out of commission for a couple hours due to how fucked up he was. What you're about to witness is
the aftermath. They go back to Forks
and Charlie rightfully goes, "You
Where
little
the
bitch,
fuck were you? You
Stop
little dumb bitch.
doing this. Stop doing this to me, your father, Jesus Christ." And
This
she's
is
like,
the second time in a year
"You're
you have
grounded
just taken
forever.
off.
You're
taken
grounded
off.
forever."
Yeah.
Next scene is of her just like hanging out with Edward outside. And this is the part where I said, "Fuck this movie."
Yeah.
I mean, fuck this movie. But this is the part where I was like, this whole moment right here sums up the whole movie.
What is it?
Is how long it takes him to just say, "Marry me."
Oh, yeah.
You remember how long it took? It's just like, I have a solution. I know what we can do. I have
But
a
you
solution.
have to promise me.
If you're going to become a vampire, and then I swear
like
30 seconds goes by of them just staring at each other, and then he just goes, "Marry me." Cuts to her. Credits. I said, fuck this movie. That's exactly all the movie is.
Dude, it's just a big
every
nothing.
scene is just that, just drawn out.
It's nothing.
Drab, dry, just bland as hell. It's a slog. This movie's a goddamn slog. The first one didn't feel like this at all, honestly. The first one was too long. But again, the first one had a little bit of personality to it, just better direction. It had energy to it.
Yeah.
It did. Like it was way better paced. Way better paced.
Yeah.
This
takes forever, man. This really does take forever to get through.
I couldn't believe it watching it. I was just like, they really thought this was coherent?
They didn't even play baseball.
That baseball scene alone is just like worth watching for the first one.
Since this is more of a quick reaction, I'll just give some basic information. It comes out November 20th, 2009 is its release date. Its opening weekend is $143 million.
Domestic?
Domestically.
Domestic?
Domestically.
What was its budget?
Its budget $50 million.
It made all its money back.
It made all of its money.
Domestically.
But it made
The first
it
weekend.
made 3 times its money back domestically the first weekend.
What else?
It actually
there's nothing else out at the time.
it actually sits 109 on the all-time inflation-adjusted domestic box office.
That's high as shit.
109th on the all-time inflation-adjusted domestic box office list. 2009, competing against The Men Who Stare at Goats,
Lost to time because of this movie.
The Blind Side.
Oh, well, that was competition.
Mm-hmm.
That made a lot of money.
I just found out, I just was reading as well, did you know that this movie was greenlit the day after the original Twilight dropped in theaters?
Makes
The
sense.
next day. They
Came out a
essentially were
year.
like,
It came out a year later.
yeah, they were like, greenlit, start working on this. So I guess he had it, they were like, yep, start getting everyone working on the sequel because these 12-year-old girls love it. It stayed in theaters all the way till March 26, 2010.
Jesus.
November to March. Yeah, it's a long span.
They don't do that anymore, man.
No, things don't
You got to
stay
be
that
really
long.
big. You got to be really big to stay in theaters.
Things don't stay that long. Competes against Alice in Wonderland, Shutter Island, and then Avatar. As for Summit Entertainment as well.
Studio that would release John Wick.
Yep. It set domestic box office records as the biggest midnight screening, grossing $26.3 million on a midnight screening.
Dude,
domestically.
They don't do midnight screenings
I know.
anymore.
Only eclipsed by its sequel,
Eclipse.
Twilight Saga Eclipse. Yeah, that's the only one that beat it. This was also Summit Entertainment's biggest movie. This was their biggest movie they had ever done till fucking Eclipse came out. There's such a millennial love for this movie, dude. Like, it's so ridiculous. Everyone,
Well, but the nostalgia aside,
Yeah.
you remember this was peak right here.
Yeah.
Was 2009, 2010 when these two came out, New
Yeah.
Moon, Eclipse, and then it started to wane with the Breaking Dawn movies. This was its peak. People being absolutely like in love with this series, like this drawing so much attention.
yeah. And I remember. I mean,
I remember.
I mean, you may say you make fun of it, but like honestly, think about like the people this is targeted at, right? Like teenage girls, right?
Yeah.
Like everyone I knew in high school, all the girls were hyped for this. There's some I'm sure that weren't, but yeah, I remember everyone loved this movie. Just everyone I went to high school with.
Eclipse is it's certainly better than this.
Okay,
I promise you that. It's not as boring. There's actually, you know who it's directed by?
who
David Slade.
who else did?
He did another vampire movie called 30 Days of Night.
Oh yeah,
How much money did they give that man to
I know,
just
dude.
like, hey, come make this vampire movie? He's got to be like, you got to be fucking kidding me, right? Cha-ching. Okay, well, why not? And you can really tell the direction and cinematography in that one is better, and that one has a lot more action to it. It's still a lot of, it's still a lot of toxicity between Edward and
Yeah.
Bella, though, because I think the plot of that one is Victoria creates an army of vampires to just go kill Bella. And so it's just them. Again, the whole story revolves around, we got to protect this woman. This woman is the purest, most desirable soul in all of the world. Everything must revolve around her.
yeah.
Again, in this one.
I mean, this is a pick me girls fantasy, dude. This is, I mean,
They're like verbatim.
I mean, I just
Not
remember-
even like that's what this is. That's what these stories
this whole
are.
series is. I just remember. Is there anything? I mean, I don't know if we can talk about anymore. Is there anything memorable that stands out to you in this one besides the Wilhelm scream? For which they're watching a movie called Face Punch. I was like, is it called Face Punch? And I go,
the memorable scene for me is when she decks the one werewolf.
yeah,
in the
just
face.
punches him that.
It's like the most limp-wristed fucking hit to the face, and he takes such offense to it. He transforms on the spot and tries to kill her.
I'll send you a copy.
Bam,
That's
Sid, super bitch.
super bitch. It's either that or the fucking elevator scene, which we'll talk about now. I can't. Really quick, can we just talk about that elevator scene?
You both fucking died.
What the fuck are they trying to do? I don't know. Are they trying to? Is that comedy to you? Like,
We'll just finish with this. There's one point that we both cracked up at it that involves Dakota Fanning coming up and saying, "Come on, guys, we got to go talk to Michael Sheen. We got to go talk to the Volturi. Come with us, Edward, Bella, Alice and a couple other guys.
Yeah.
It's them, all 6 of them just crammed into an elevator to go underground, which is where I guess the Volturi operate. And it's just this long shot of them. It might as well be the shot from the SpongeBob movie where they're waiting in the elevator to get to the paddy wagon.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. And it had to have been played for laughs, right? Because they're all just awkwardly standing there as this elevator music goes. Play the clip right now. Do you know how much more watchable it would be if like this movie actually did decide to turn and wink at the audience, you know? It does not for the whole movie up until maybe that point. That's how you could appeal as like a story somehow, as if you were to be like, this is ridiculous. We know this is ridiculous. That and cut back on all the drab conversations about Jacob, should we or shouldn't we?
I mean, I think it should be loved and given, you know, its place in history now, knowing context and everything. I mean, something with art and having effects and life imitating art, imitating life. I think this can give very impressionable people the wrong message about what love is and what
desire is.
What desire is.
What feelings of people wanting me feel like, you know?
Yeah.
You can't. It's a movie that easily could have taught you can't let this go to your head. Yeah. But the movie says, let it go to your head.
Let it go to your head. You are that bitch. You are her.
What would you rate this, if anything?
Rate this movie? I don't even know what I rated the original Twilight.
I'll go first. You know what I'm going to give this?
What?
This gets a 20.
Yeah.
This gets a 20 solely for like I had a really good time making fun of it. It's easy to make fun of. It's a fun watch, and there's like some genuinely laughable moments that didn't even need jokes, like didn't even need heckling for.
Yeah.
This movie takes itself so seriously.
Yeah, this is much worse than the first one. You know what? I feel like I can do this because it is our show. I'm going to give this one, have I done this yet? I'm going to give this one a conditional 2.
No, you haven't done this yet.
Okay. I'm going to give this one a conditional 2. Okay. This is my thought process.
I'm more generous than you again.
Conditional 2. There might be something worse out there than this, but I don't know which one I don't know if it is yet. So if we don't find it on this show and it ends, this review reverts to a 1. This is a conditional 2 because I believe there's something worse out there than this. This was not good. And it's just boring and it's just kind of stupid.
It's kind of
just stupid. And, you know, everyone could say, oh, you guys are just trashing it and stuff. But I got to say, this made me miss the first one again. This really made me miss Twilight 1. I would rather rewatch the first Twilight all over again than rewatch this one. I am never going to see this one again.
You are going to watch the next one, though.
I will watch the next few. All right. Would you give this a 20?
I do really, I mean this, like, in all sincerity. The worst is behind you, though.
Okay.
This is the worst one.
This is the worst one?
In my opinion.
Okay.
From what I remember, watching all of these in a row, like over the span of like a day and a half, this is the worst one. I promise you.
All right. I don't even need to do 20 plus 2 divided by 2 is an 11. An 11 for Twilight New Moon. Okay. Now, I don't have any major games played for this, but let's do a really fun. Let's just do this. Nick, do you think we could, in the space of a few minutes, come up with either a drink for this or a drinking game for this movie?
Okay.
A drink. You want to do a drinking game for this movie?
So I've got it. Take a shot.
Okay, take a shot. These are the big ones. So the big ones.
Every time Bella's mouth is open.
You're dead already. You're dead.
In the episode here. No, take a shot every time Bella puts herself in mortal danger.
Every time Bella does something dangerous, take a shot. Every time she does not look at the person talking to her, take a drink.
Take a drink.
Take a drink.
Drink whenever Jacob's shirt is off.
Drink whenever Force Ghost Edward shows up.
I think we should leave it there because people will die.
People will die.
Say more.
Okay, last one. Drink every time the shot is taking way too long to go. If you want to play the most dangerous version of this, take a shot every time the shot is taking too long. Okay, so you have a few there. I think that'll do it. What do you think?
We did it.
All right, we did Twilight too. Thank you for watching this episode of the 1.5 White Guys podcast. Be sure to rate us, follow us, and subscribe to us wherever you get your podcast from. And don't forget to follow us on our Instagram at 1.5 White Guys Pod, on TikTok at 1.5 White Guys, and now on our YouTube, which is hopefully where you're watching this, at 1.5 White Guys.
And be sure to tell a friend to listen to the podcast where we say we're going to talk about a movie because we don't want you to watch it.
Ain't that the truth? Nick, I think I have something to tell you. It's that if you wanted to end this show, you probably could.
Didn't we already talk about this like two scenes back?
We talked about this a little bit. We talked about ending the show, but I just feel like the audience needs to hear it again.
Nathan, where the hell is our ending, Loca?
What? Slowly fade to black.
What? What?
Slowly fade to black, and I'll fade in our logo as the moon. We'll slowly fade to black. I'll watch the logo come in as the music gets louder. Bye, everyone.